Hi, good morning everyone. Welcome to Simply Nature, Healthy and Sexy. And this is Jaslin with you live every Thursday 8 a.m. And currently I'm in Manila. And once again, welcome to watching my shows. So before I start, I'll just like to thank everyone for following us, Simply Nature. And lately we have quite a lot of queries about what we are and what we have been doing in this country of the Philippines. But before I go into that, I just want to say hello to all my friends in the Soul Rich Woman. Once again, good morning, Janisha, and morning to all my friends, in the Philippines. Mabuhay, 大家早上好, and 大家早安. So, what did I share with you last week? Last week I shared about unclog your arteries, right? And usually all these health issue and diseases you're experiencing, or even your loved one are suffering, is basically started from bad lifestyle, isn't it? And I posted the questions that day on, are you the kind that you live to eat or you eat to live? So I've been saying about this for the last 1 week in my Instagram, in the Facebook, and I've quite an interesting or a handful of reply. One of them even said that I live to travel. I mean, it's totally out of the topic, but most of them would tell me that what do you think? They live to eat. Precisely, and that's why, people have been suffering from all this metabolic syndrome disease. The moment you had all this metabolic syndrome disease and you're on medication, and usually that will be on long-term basis, the precursor after which would be people would be also suffering from cancer later, because of the body that is not able to recover, or in short, the immunity of the health has been compromised. That's why, as I've been saying, we all have cancer cells, but it was inhibited because your immune system could actually defeat it every day, that you can eradicate it out of the body. But the moment your immune system has been compromised, that's where the cancer cells will start to be so strong and active that it might, the moment it comes into a form of tumor, that's where that's where we really have to, it might be too late, or if you discover it earlier, you really have to seize the issue right away. So I had mentioned before, in the past, I think in my episode, in a previous 10 episode, about gut health. And I'm going to talk more on gut health this coming seasons, because if you know that your body is constantly communicating with you, by the way, and you need to learn the language of your gut. And behind every curtain, our gut is responsible for putting our body into working order. All right, so as it breaks down the food that we eat, our gut absorbs nutrients that support our body functions, from energy to productions to hormone balance to skin health to mental health, and even toxic and waste elimination. Right, so do you know that about 70% of our immune system is housed in the gut, and we are very dependent on the gut. So making sure that our digestive system is in tip-top shape can be a key to addressing many of your bodily problems. Okay, and how do we translate our gut feelings into a health solution? So I'm going to share with you more about that. And your gut may not have a literal voice, but its function communicates in the form of code. So from complete silence to hunger grumble to bathroom habits, and getting insight into what is going on inside your body, here I'm going to share with you. Alright, so these are the 10 things, or 10 D code of your body that you should know. Alright, and before you could actually gauge whether you had a good gut health. Okay, so before I get into it, I'd like to also put here and posing some questions if ever you had onto my own page, so that more people will get to hear about my sharing today. I mean, gut health. I mean, who know that gut health? Very rare, that people mention about your gut health. Most people mention will be your blood, your pressure. But actually, all this started off with a gut that is not too healthy, and in Chinese, we always said that if your digestion is not is a peak performance, most likely all these issues that I just mentioned, whether it's high blood, high cholesterol, diabetic, gout issue, spleen issue, poor liver, poor kidney, would actually surface in due season. So that in the short, we will always put it together in Mandarin. We say 你的吸收力强不强？你的消化能量好不好？ So these are the things that you should start focusing at. Even before you hit 30s. If you could, even in your 20s, you should start looking at it before it's too late for you to recuperate or to build back that gut health. As young as you are, you should already develop a very good and great habit, in building a strong gut health, so that you don't fall into the category that I just mentioned. So what are the 10 things that your body is actually signaling to you? All right. So number 1, is your poop on schedule? I think more than that, I mean, whether it's on schedule, which is actually one of the key, but I think usually I will ask my client and my patients this very valid and simple question. I say, hey, Rebecca, how many times do you actually poops in a week? 7 times, 5 times, 3 times, or even just once a week? And you'll be surprised, 80% or close to 90% of the people out there doesn't really observe that part of their life, poop schedule. So I say poop schedule because it's you have many schedule in your life, right? You have schedule for dinner, you have schedule for appointment, you have schedule for girlfriend, you have schedule for everything, your game, your activity, your PT gym time. But you have to realize that there's this thing called a poop schedule. Okay, while we are a child, probably your parents would observe a poop schedule when you're a baby or your toddler, or maybe these days parents doesn't observe that you have a poop schedule, and that as a mom that's feeding the baby since they are young, you observe that the baby should probably poops 2 to 3 times or even more days. That's why diapers makes a lot of money, because they were so happy that the more the baby the poops, the more baby poops, the more they'll make money, because you're always changing the diapers, right? Isn't it? So why, as we grow older, we don't notice or we don't even observe our poop schedule? So usually my questions to my client would be, are you pooping 7 times a week, 5 times a week, 3 times a week, or 1 time a week? Obviously, the lesser it goes, you actually fall into the categories of constipation, and that actually talks a lot about your gut health, which means it's very, very poor. Normal poops should occur anytime, anywhere, within 2 to 3 times a day. You should be pooping at least once a day, if not, better still, twice a day, because whatever you eat in 48 hours, it should come out. Or some people might have a schedule of more than 48 hours, then that is really no good. Having any pooping schedule less than once a day or less than 7 times a week, you are classified as a constipated patient. Alright, so while we all have different gut health or gut pattern, we should always observe the moment your food arrives in your large intestine or colon, after 6 to 8 hours, it should be already in the form of digestion progress, and having to look for a restroom. Over here you call comfort room, in Singapore it's called toilet. Do not find it's a hassle, because it is a necessity. Alright, if your poop schedule is off, as I say, it could be constipation already. And constipation has many causes, from dehydrations, low fiber diet, thyroid issue. But your best bet is first your diet. So really look into your diet. Okay? Make sure that you are hydrated. Drinking plenty of water is a must, and that also include your fruits and vegetables in the diet. Please, if you do not oops, as I mentioned, several times a week, or probably twice a day, or even once a day, you have waste hanging longer than it should be in your body. And you know that the longer your waste hold in your body, a potential cause of health issue is going to arise. Alright, so number 2, processed food can actually cause inflammation. So, processed food can cause inflammation in the lining of your GI tract, the exact place where the food is absorbed. Your gut may not recognize what you've eaten as digestible food. Instead, it will interpret the presence of food like high fructose corn syrup or artificial ingredients as an attacker. So actually, the moment you eat anything that is processed, your body will take it as like a form of enemies, that it will be in all alert, as saying to the rest of the body function that something foreign has entered your body, my body, and therefore inflammation will be triggered. The reason why our body are having inflammation here and there nowadays is because of the number one, overeating, as mentioned last week's sharing, and I would say GMO author food, and of course one of them is actually processed food. That's why your body being made natural, we're all being made natural by God, right? By putting anything foreign or anything that is processed, your body would think that it is actually a foreign that is coming to the body, that it will actually attack it, and that is, in layman terms, is called inflammation, because the body was trying to defend you. So honestly, if you could stick to whole food, whole fruits, vegetable, and unprocessed meat, buy a real chicken, buy a real meat sauce, whether it's lean meat or minced meat, buy it fresh, and that could lower the stress on your body that will be created later part. Okay, because the moment your body had inflammation, it will affect your GI tract once again. So stick to whole food. Number 3, stick to gluten-free food. There's evidence that gluten increase the intestinal issue, and that you call it leaking gut. Even if you don't have that disease, that doesn't mean that you're spared away from chances of leaking gut when you are on high gluten diet. This means that particles like undigested food or waste, and the pathogen like bacteria can pass through the compromised lining of your intestine and getting into your bloodstream. And again, what does it mean? It causes inflammation. The best way to see if gluten is a no-go in your diet is that you completely do away with it for 4 weeks and then see how your gut reacts. In fact, if you do away with gluten, for most people, if you do away with gluten, hi Ren, hi Emma, sir, for watching. Alright, thank you for watching once again. So if you do away with gluten for 4 weeks, or in short, if you are Christians, usually when we do our fasting, when you fast, you don't really go into anything other than water or a Daniel's diet, which is vegetable or fruits. The moment you do away with that gluten, you'll be surprised, in the next 3 weeks you will be totally energetic, fresh, light. You feel good about yourself. So then that means gluten is a no as well to your body. I mean, it's so easy to find out. So if you found gluten in your diet, try to cut it down or avoid it totally. So do read the label. I've talked about in the past one of our episode that in today's world, you really need to look at the label on the product itself, so that you will read about if this is gluten free. Wheat can be found in a lot of unsuspecting food, such as binder, fillers, things like chewing gum. You will find gluten in it, salad dressing, potato chips, spices, and more. So you will really feel good when you are totally off gluten. All right. Number 4, prebiotics. You really need to have prebiotics in your diet in today's world, to really make sure that your GI health has that bacteria that's needed for a healthy digestion in your GI. So you know that in today's world, whenever we're sick, usually what does the physician prescribe to you? Antibiotics, even for as young as less than a year old, where the body is yet to actually form its immunity at its optimal. So kids nowadays, toddlers nowadays, babies are prescribed with antibiotics, and antibiotics actually wipe out a lot of bacteria, including the good ones, as known as probiotic. There is so many strains of probiotic in our body, but prebiotics like iron, coming from garlic, asparagus, bananas, these are actually good prebiotics that should always be in our diet. That's the reason why whenever I cook my dishes, I'll make sure that I have irons and garlic in my soup, or my stir-fried vegetable, or stir-fried beef with onions, with a lot of gingers. They provide fantastic fiber that is needed for your good bacteria in your gut. So it helps even to recalculate your microbiome or your gut health, and offset the effects of your gut flora. So all these technical terms that you could really find out. You should Google about your health and what does it mean to have a fantastic GI tract. All right. So by the way, if any one of you is under birth control pills, it would also alter your gut environment, because like antibiotics is going to affect your bacterial system, the good ones in your body. All right. So that was number 4, prebiotics. Now let's come to probiotics on number 5. Along with your good prebiotics, your gut also need a healthy dose of probiotics to keep your body system strong. So how do you find the probiotics? One of the brand that we grew up with was Yakult. That you find it, it's nice to drink. It's a great form of probiotics, but I don't think it would be sufficient in today's world with so much junk and so much stressful lifestyle that we are living in right now. So fermented food like kimchi, no wonder the Koreans, they could eat like nobody business. But I'm not referring to that, but having kimchi as one of the diet is actually very, very critical with the way they eat. All right. So miso soup, tempeh, beverages like kefir are actually great form of probiotics that your gut will bring down the food and improve your immune system. So with all this probiotic and prebiotic, what's the purpose? It is actually to make sure that your digestive system is operating at its optimal level. Because as I said, gut is the place where nutrients, will be transferred to your other part of your body, either nutrients or toxic, you choose. So having said that, that was number 5. Number 6, if you are always feeling restless or feeling down, even emotionally, very likely it is your food. When your digestion is compromised, our body can underproduce neurotransmitter, like serotonin, and 95% of the serotonin is produced in the small intestine. Low serotonin is the contributor to anxiety, depression in today's world, and even other mental issues. So again, your gut actually produces serotonin that you would have a good, strong mental health. Now that we know that the gut is so important because it actually concerns your mental health. It's not only your bodily health, it's your mental health. I mean, a lot of people are in a very bad mental state in today's world due to the stress. It could be because overworking, you are desk bound, you are stressed by financially. I think mainly if you are overworking, you are desk bound. One thing that most people did back to their health is when they're desk bound, they don't eat, or they miss their meal time, proper meal time, or they're just eating junk at their desk as they're working because they just want to finish the things in front of them. So very likely they are not going to produce serotonin as they're always desk bound, or they're always not eating timely their meal, or eating, even thinking of proper nutrition for their body, because they're always working. So therefore they're getting more stress, and it's a vicious cycle, getting more stress, poor diet, getting more stress, poor diet, anxiety, stress, poor diet, depressions, and therefore later you realize that you are in a hallucination state because you have poor mental health. So it might not be the case for everyone, but generally it is coming to play in today's world. And you really need to clean up your diet, for it may relieve your brain fog, sadness, and even low energy. So we have seen today's world, all the young people, the teenagers that's always stuck in their computer games. They could miss their meal time. They could start playing at 7 p.m. all the way into the next morning 4 a.m. because first they're overhauling their energy, the body. They're overused their fuels. They are not resting. They are not sleeping at the actual hour, and they are not feeding their body with the right food. And there you will see them into a vicious cycle. And we have seen cases where in Japan, I think Japan or Taiwan, there was cases where teenagers just collapse besides their game desk, because just like that, there's no reason about it, they just collapse. And I'm not surprised, because they probably are already destroyed in a body system that they would know how, and parents are helpless about it. So if you are feeling down, emotionally affected, very likely your gut health is at stake because you're not producing enough serotonin for your mental health. Alright, so number 7, just mentioned, sleep. Sleep, making sure that you have ample of sleep, and sleeping at the right time and waking up at the right time is important for the body, because the body need to function as I mentioned in the previous episode, that we do have a body clock that we should follow. So don't feel guilty about skipping your brunch or having an extra hour undercover, especially if you haven't been sleeping well during the week. Researchers are still looking into the gut-sleep relationship to verify if improving your gut health will affect your sleep. But there's definitely a connection between poor health and the bacterial environment of your gut. So getting enough sleep helps lower your cortisol level, and also allow time for your gut to repair itself. So slack your sleep every weekend if you have the time. Sleep a bit more or sleep earlier. Of course, lessen your eye bag, right? So that's also one of the reasons. Number 8, there's this saying, that says slow and steady win the race. So what does it mean? Eat slower. If you are the kind that just gobble down and eat really fast, very likely you don't have a very good GI or gut health track. Slow eater, has have a track record of people that chew the food so that it helps to jumpstart the digestive process. So as you chew your food into smaller pieces with your teeth and stimulate saliva productions, you also signal to the rest of the body that it's time for digestive system to get to work. That's the reason why people who eat slowly actually had a better digestive system, and the food will actually be properly digested. Now as I'm talking about it, I was reminded about the Japanese. First, Japanese has very good healthy diet. I think more than that, they have bite sizes which known worldwide that is called sushi. They're supposed for you to have bite sizes so that you could actually enjoy the food slowly but surely. And they eat slowly, that's for sure, and they eat so slow so that as they enjoy the food is properly digested. So look at the Japanese diet. Japanese, you rarely see Japanese that is huge and big, oversized, overweight with super obese BMI reading. It's because I think their diet is made to help them to have a good healthy system, and that's of course a great GI gut health. So that's number 8. Eat slowly. All right. Number 9, relax your mind. It does reset your gut. The more relaxed you are, the better you'll be able to nourish your body. And we just talking about digestion, but actually stress can actually change your gut in the negative way. So if you are not stressed, if you are relaxed, your gut is relaxed to function by itself. I guess because when we are tense, or we are stressed, or we are anxious, we create a tensity to the body, and therefore your body will be in a state of tension that it will also affect your gut. So when you are stressed, when we are stressed, you feel butterfly in your stomach, because that is one way to describe that you are stressed, because you feel tense, you feel something is wrong within yourself. So that's causing discomfort, and therefore also is going to affect your digestion. Research shown that taking time to relax or meditate actually ease the symptoms of gut disorder. So there's many ways to relax, right? I mean, you can listen to music, take an easy walk. If you are living at the beach, walk at the beach. If you are living at a place where there's beautiful garden, walk in a garden. If you love to read a leisure book that will actually relax you. Or if you are kind of watching a comedy or actually helps you to relax, go ahead. All right, anything that's helped to give you a mindful boost, learn that with that mindful boost, actually you will know that your body system is relaxed, and therefore your GI tract will not be affected as well. So that's number 9. So what is number 10? Number 10, if you don't hear all the 9 that are just above, or you don't feel guilty that you fall short of the 9 that are just mentioned above, and if you are eliminating regularly every day, not dealing with bloatedness or abdominal pain, then you are just doing fine. That's number 10. So no news is good news. If there's no negative news of what I just mentioned on the 9, and you're not guilty of the 9 that I just mentioned that you didn't do on it, whether you are stressed or not, then you're just doing fine. Especially if you had that number 1 every day, which is to poop. And if you are very clear about your poop schedule, then you are fine. If I could talk, you should thank your body for being nourished and healthy and not creating a stress environment for yourself. Because if your body is in a stress-free environment, then your body is able to strive. And I always said that, if you had a very good gut health, you're free from disease, you're free from illness. Very likely, people that fall under the category, and again, I'm going to use Japanese as illustrations. Most Japanese I've saw, probably 80% of them, they have long life. Not only that, they have good skin. Not only that, they have an anti-aging body. So people are looking to look young or slow aging or deter aging or define aging with all those cosmeceutical companies coming up, and all those beauty salon that is coming up that's promoting and encouraging and pushing on anti-aging. Wouldn't it be better if it's from inside out? I mean, if you know that your junk and your trash are out of your body, you are free to say that you are anti-aging because you are slowing your body from aging, free from disease, free from illnesses. Then you are very likely progressing into an anti-aging stage. So who doesn't want to be anti-age, right? Who doesn't want to look young? Rather than spending on the topical, why not from the inside out, right? So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching once again. Do you live to eat or eat to live? I leave you with that. So thank you for watching once again, every Thursday, 8 a.m. With me, Jaslin, on health and health tips, a series of health that is guiding you. And I always believe that prevention is better than cure. So every Tuesday, it will be by Shan. He's going to continue his cancer series. And if you are having loved ones or friends that has fallen into the category, do not be discouraged. Tune on to every Tuesday 8 a.m. with Shan Lim. Alright, he's going to share with you how to fight cancer. If you enjoy what we have been sharing every Thursday 8 a.m., follow me on my Simply Nature page, or tune in to my YouTube channel on the link there. Of course, if you want to join our community, how to be healthy and prevention is better than cure, click on to Win Products. Alright, so we do have the natural solutions that Simply Nature has been offering in the Philippines and Singapore and in Asia. Click on to the link that says simplynature.asia /fight illness, sorry. And you've already be very familiar with us, and you like to know, and click on the order. Then for international order, click on the first link. For Philippine order, click on the second one. Brought to you by Simply Nature, healthy and sexy. Jaslin here, signing off. God bless you. Bye.